At present, one of the most heated topics on the internet in mainland China is why China is missing the ChatGPT spectacle, as it has always been regarded as an AI powerhouse. Harvard University published a report in December 2021 titled, "The Great Rivalry: China versus the US in the 21st Century." It points out that China is now clearly ahead of the US in terms of actual AI applications, including facial recognition, voice recognition, and fintech. Despite such a huge advantage, China has not only failed to pioneer AI products like ChatGPT, but also appears to be struggling a bit to keep pace with the world trend. Why is that? Let's look at the explosive popularity of ChatGPT first. ChatGPT, a chatbot developed by OpenAI, has surpassed 100 million users in just 2 months, breaking the records of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and other previous online services, and setting off a global artificial intelligence frenzy. According to Sensor Tower data, it took TikTok roughly 9 months to reach 100 million users after its global launch, and Instagram 30 months. ChatGPT has started an important change in the field of artificial intelligence, attracting widespread attention from users to investors because of its potential to liberate human productivity. In addition to Microsoft's resolution to invest billions of dollars in developing AI chat services, Google has also launched Bard, a conversational AI service, in response. San Francisco artificial intelligence company OpenAI was founded in 2015 with investment from a host of Silicon Valley bigwigs, including Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and other members of the PayPal gang, as well as LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman. About 7 years after the company was founded on November 30th, 2022, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman tweeted, "Today we launched ChatGPT. Try talking with it here. Anyone can sign up for an account through the link in the tweet and start chatting with OpenAI's new chatbot for free." There have been other chatbots before, but none can compare to ChatGPT. It can have long conversations on a wide range of subjects and can answer questions. People interact with it for more than just weather conditions. It can also compose all kinds of written assignments based on a request. For example, it can check the bugs in the program code as requested by the CEOs and engineers of software companies. It writes a healthy recipe for chocolate chip cookies as requested by food bloggers, and many students use it to complete homework assignments, write business plans, advertising materials, poems, jokes, and even movie scripts as requested by people. All of this happened within 24 hours of the chatbot's release. Of course, it's not perfect. The results it provides are often less than accurate, and it has almost no idea as to anything taking place after 2021.
GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It is an artificial intelligence model that is trained on a very large data set of text. You can give it an input, and it will provide you with an output. Basically, what it does is it continues writing what you gave it. If you ask it a question, it'll answer it. If you ask it to continue what you're writing, it'll do that. It's trained on a large data set of curated written material. For instance, Wikipedia, all the books in the world, scientific papers, code, a lot of things like that. And it literally is trained by giving it a sentence, blanking out the last word, and having it learn to guess what that last word will be.
In mainland China, as internet giants such as Baidu, Ali, and iFLYTEK almost all announced in early February that they would launch ChatGPT-like AI chat programs in China in the future. Among them, China's Baidu said on February 7th that it would join the global race by completing internal testing of the ChatGPT-like project ERNIE Bot in March this year. This has kept the topic hogging the internet on mainland China. Chinese netizens aren't excited by the announcement, but rather question it, saying, "You didn't have anything until foreign countries came out with the innovations, but as soon as others did, you immediately have everything and claim to be at the forefront." A professional wrote an article titled, "How China Missed the ChatGPT Spectacle." It has been quickly blocked by the Chinese authorities on the web due to its fast popularity, but we can still see the content from some overseas websites. The article compares the timeline of the ChatGPT development process with the progress of related fields in China. The final conclusion is, Achieving the breakthrough of OpenAI technology at the application level needs the joint efforts of 3 teams. One group are researchers who can read and understand the papers from OpenAI, DeepMind, Google, and other organizations. The second group are researchers who can use OpenAI's API to explore the models in the papers. The third group is venture investors who are sensitive to Silicon Valley information and often see what products people are making with OpenAI's API. The article writes, "Is there any group in China that brings together these 3 types of people and has them interact sufficiently? Is there any individual who has all 3 attributes?" Compounding the problem is that Chinese researchers have been locked up in the country for 3 years and haven't traveled abroad for academic conference exchanges, and I'm guessing many haven't even attended online conferences. There's a lot we don't see from the papers. The epidemic lockdown lasted 3 years, and the internet information isn't accessible. With these factors stacking up, the entire Chinese world has formed an information cocoon. The article also keenly identifies a characteristic of Red China. It describes it this way. Another problem is that our Chinese internet is not sufficient to provide high-quality training data. What is high-quality data? For example, Wikipedia, high-quality active forums, professional news, academic papers, high-quality code, and books. This high-quality data needs open communities to be generated, and it's something we seem to have no solution. That is to say, a 3-year zero-COVID policy and lockdowns have in reality broken the meridian of Chinese science and technology innovation. It seems China has missed the first train and can probably still try hard to catch the next one, but the second factor is fatal. ChatGPT is an AI model of language interaction, which is different from AI such as visual and speech recognition. The underlying environment or basic condition needed for the construction of a language model is the need for freedom of speech. Only in an environment where there is a full freedom of speech can AI obtain the most realistic and rich language expressions and content of human communication.
One of the innovations in the language model behind GPT is something called in-context learning or prompt engineering. And what that means is traditionally in machine learning models, you have to train the model based on human supervised examples. So that means to do a specific thing, you have to retrain the entire model. That means you need to have expertise in how to train the models. You need to have access to all of this training data. But now, something really interesting happened after GPT-2 was released. People realized that you could prompt the model with, let's say, a Shakespearean sonnet, and it would just kind of generate, it would just carry on generating Shakespearean content. But then people started being a bit more exploratory, right? They said, why don't we just give it questions? Why don't we ask it about mathematics? Why don't we ask it about things that it wasn't even trained on? And then people discovered this emergent reasoning capability. Just take multiplication or arithmetic, for example. You can train it on things that it's never seen before, and the model has this emergent reasoning capability. And that was a remarkable discovery.
Imagine that as many as 500 sensitive words are banned related to party leader Xi Jinping on China's closed internet. This extremely harsh speech environment contradicts the basis for the birth of Chat AI. Even if Chinese tech giants like Baidu and Ali claim to launch their own version of GPT in the future, it is likely to be a very low-level version. It's unlikely to have a truly valuable Chat AI emerge in China. Chinese netizens have made jokes about this. One asked, "What would happen if we let Baidu's AI chat with ChatGPT?" They reply, "It would lull ChatGPT into a Putian hospital." Putian is the name of a city located in Fujian province. Hospitals set up by Putian people across the country are known as Putian hospitals. There are already about 8,000 Putian private hospitals in China that are growing rapidly. This medical network has long been plagued by scandals of false marketing and fraud. But for a long time, if people search for hospitals using Baidu, the Chinese equivalent of Google, they would receive recommendations of countless Putian hospitals. That is, much of the key data has been deliberately contaminated by the Chinese Communist Party or CCP. Coupled with omnipresent censorship, the Chinese version of ChatGPT is giving Chinese netizens very little peace of mind. But there is no denying that China has a clear lead over the US in terms of actual AI applications, including facial recognition, voice recognition, and fintech. Last year, Stanford University did a study claiming Chinese researchers have been the most prolific for the past several years, publishing 27.5% of all AI journal articles worldwide. American researchers accounted for 12%. Because the Chinese Communist regime is most interested in controlling the people, it doesn't care if technology really advances, or if people are really healthy and happy. Its only care is about power and political security. In Red China, through surveillance equipment and other means, the communist government and corporations collect a vast amount of personal data on Chinese citizens, including facial and fingerprint images, financial information, vehicle movements, and online surveillance. They use sophisticated algorithms to process this data and find patterns. Obviously, Western countries don't have the same facilities. There are more than 1 billion surveillance cameras installed worldwide, and more than half of them are in China. We did an episode on this topic last year, and if you're interested, you can click on the video link in the description box below. Let's listen to this recording. It's said to be a private conversation between officials of the CCP Cyber Surveillance Department. Perhaps you'll get a sense of the particular circumstances that Chinese citizens find themselves in. It doesn't matter if it's the Weibo in the past or whatever Twitter now. These days, they're just mouthpieces, you know? Don't you know? Ha ha ha. The government is still afraid that these people will rise up and revolt. Isn't it a joke or excessive worry? Speaking of empty slogans, who is comparable to our great and glorious and correct Central Propaganda Department? Ha ha ha. The most naive thing about Chinese folks is firstly, they always think they have to petition for help and that the top level can solve their problems. Secondly, they always think they are smarter than the people above them. To put it bluntly, they are only a small monkey under the palm of the Buddha's hand. What kind of computer do you use? Lenovo. What kind of cell phone are you using? Huawei. As long as you use any equipment produced by these two brands, you are sure to be monitored, you know? Many people think that the data the CCP authorities collect is to collect what you say and what you text. But what actually interests them is your entire behavior pattern, the entire thinking structure and behavior pattern behind it, and whether it constitutes a potential threat to them. If so, they are likely to be manually handled by the local people. If you still engage in specific behaviors, the authorities will make a direct judgment based on this cloud data. The individual has to be taken care of in advance if he or she is engaged in any specific behavior. China has now entered into crime prevention, as they call it. The name of my cell phone bundled with WeChat is the name of my employer, and I don't use my real name on WeChat. It's of no use. You think you can be safe with someone else's registration. Ha ha ha. The tragedy here is people are swimming in the sea or river, but they still think they are swimming in the bathtub. This individual is the most pathetic, and so deserves to be screwed. Why? Because you are stupid. You don't know where you are. China's absence from the ChatGPT extravaganza shouldn't be too much of a loss for the Communist Party. AI technology is not only helping the party manage the domestic public, but Chinese AI-generated anchors have also come to the West to actively deliver the party's voice. US-based research firm Graphica released a report on February 8, 2023, saying that there is now a deeply fake propaganda video on the internet that features news anchors who look very real but are actually generated by AI. These videos are believed to be linked to the Chinese government. They were created by AI software and appeared on social media, which the report says appears to be promoting the interests of the CCP. The report provides a video in which a virtual male anchor calling himself Alex criticizes the US for doing nothing about gun violence. In another video, a female anchor emphasizes the importance of great power cooperation between the US and China. We would like to briefly explore what AI will bring to mankind. Whether it's the use of AI technology in Red China or Western countries, they all reflect a critical trend. Artificial intelligence is becoming more advanced, high-tech machines appear, and people begin to worship high technology. It's with the upgrade of AI technology, human reliance on robots is also rapidly increasing. Many people are worried that AI automation will make a lot of jobs disappear. Some analysts believe that jobs like these are most at risk of being replaced by AI. These include telemarketers, customer service, warehouse workers, clerks and operators, telephone operators, tellers and cashiers, fast food workers, dishwashers, production line inspectors, couriers, sales and market research, insurance adjusters, security guards, truck drivers, consumer loan officers, financial and sports reporters, bookkeepers and financial analysts, fruit pickers, investment professionals, radiologists, etc. What most of these replaced jobs have in common are the ability to use data analysis and a high repetitive nature. For example, in telemarketing, AI can identify the products that users need through a large amount of user data, while warehouse workers and truck drivers have fixed and repetitive work descriptions, which AI can manipulate through relatively simple computing methods such as robots to carry out their work. ChatGPT also provided a similar answer to this question as the experts. And if ChatGPT does replace your job, it doesn't feel any guilt or has any concern over it. It says, "I have no emotions or personal feelings." Of course, many analysts believe the opposite, that AI will not take jobs away from humans, but will instead create more jobs. We are concerned about a more dangerous trend. Once AI solves human problems with increasing quality through more accurate calculations and decisions, its authority will be quickly established, and a large number of people will consciously and unconsciously start to follow its orders. Will humans eventually come to such a point? That is, the computer not only becomes an assistant to human decision-making, but even replaces people to make decisions. This process is actually the process of humans gradually giving up the lead and handing themselves over to machines to control. Imagine, once AI evolves to such a degree, what makes AI with autonomous consciousness still think that humans are its masters whom they have to obey?